Hello everyone, it's me, Brooke. Um, this video I want to document on what I think is really going on because I had mentioned in my previous video that I knew somebody else that experienced the Kundalini and had a bad experience. And that person was my mom. And it was in 2009, a year I had my experience almost a year exactly after. But when she had her experience, like nobody in the family had any idea about any of this stuff. We thought it was just psychosis. She pretty much went off her rocker. She wasn't acting like herself at all. She was wandering the neighborhood, claiming that cobwebs were alive, that bugs were coming out of her skin. She was very paranoid. She was combative. Like she was hitting my father. She was yelling at people. She was just extreme anxiety, paranoia, and fear. But she had lost all of her wits about her. And at some point, my dad and I had to have her committed because she was at a point where she needed like 24-hour care. I had kids. My dad worked a job. Like, none of us really knew how to handle this situation. And even when she was hospitalized, she was cheeking her meds. She just wasn't being cooperative at all. And she was just like, I know she called the fire department in the middle of the night before she had been hospitalized. She was randomly calling 911. She was like in another world, okay? But none of us knew what the hell was going on. And but she was finally, they got her on some medication that got her calmed down enough where we were able to help her or leave her home alone at periods of time during the day, but she never fully quite, it took her a long time to recover from this, whatever it was. And I know that she was taking Chantix, and she was also like weaning herself off of some anti-anxiety meds. She's always been a hypochondriac, a hermit, judgmental. She has always lived in a place of fear and anxiety as long as I can recall. She's very codependent. Spends her days cleaning the house, and that's about it. Cleaning and cooking. She's really good, exceptional at those things. Otherwise, she doesn't have much of a life. She didn't drive. She didn't socialize. But pretty much the doctors had chalked it up to reaction to Chantix, and that's what caused this big mess. And we were satisfied with the answer at the time, but it scared me shitless out of ever taking fucking Chantix. But it wasn't until a year later when I started experiencing something out of this world. And I later found out it was Kundalini. That's the term, but I was in communication with an entity that said they were messengers of God, and they told me that they had gotten the wrong Alice. And basically by the end of all this, they told me that they had induced Kundalini with her, and they had induced Kundalini with me, and that our results were the two possibilities, or the two possible outcomes. And my experience involved a lot of clarity. Like I completely understood what was going on. I didn't need to be hospitalized. I was able to handle the duality of it all fairly well. But I was told then that this is something that everybody is going to experience at some point in the future, which I think we're on the brink of right now with all these energies coming in. And they said that people would experience one of two outcomes. They would have an experience like hers or an experience like mine. Because after I went through what I went through, I was like, okay, let me go ask my mom. After her, she was scared to death to talk about it. She didn't want anything to do with it. Like, it was a really traumatic experience for her, which I don't blame her for at all. But it took a lot just for her to open up about what was going on in her head. Like, where did she think she was? Like, what, from her perspective, what was that experience, you know? And I was able to get some information out of her, and she was scared shitless. So she said it was, she kept referring to vampires. She thought, she said she did feel like she was royalty, because I remember the specific day, or no, it was when she had called the fire, I guess when the fire department showed up that night. She had like all of her jewelry on, and like she is obsessed with the Home Shopping Network. Like, she had a lot of jewelry on. But she said that she felt like she was royalty, and she was acting the part in this reality. She felt like she was jumping in and out of realities. She thought, but by the end of it, she thought this experience was demonic. She said there was vampires in the attic. I know cobwebs and bugs were involved, and like it was all negative and fear-based for her. And my experience was everything opposite. My experience was love and warmth and butterflies, dragonflies, rainbows, miracles. Like, the nature was interactive with me. I found a 4-leaf clover, but I knew it was going to be there. Like, I had a really, really positive experience and developed an understanding of everything that I had gone through. No hospitalization was required. I was still able to juggle my real life and be participating with this communication all the while. But I've lived a different life than my mom. I'm a very social person. I have a lot of energy. I love to sing. I love to be creative. I love driving. I've never let fear rule me or my life. I've always conquered my fears head on. But a lot of that is in part because of my mom, and I didn't want to end up like her. So I do thank her. She's been my greatest teacher. That's for sure. But, you know, after I had my experience and I went and looked up like what the fuck was going on, and found out about Kundalini, and it really did explain, like, step by step everything that I felt I had gone through. And like I said, they told me that these two outcomes are the potential for anybody. So what I think, I mean, there's going to be a mass awakening. There's going to be mass Kundalini, like, going on with everybody. And that's what we're here for. The ones that have experienced Kundalini before these others are about to, we're here to help those that aren't understanding what the hell is going on. That it's like a good trip or a bad trip. Like, if you have taken LSD, like, if you are coming from a positive, creative mentality or energy, you're going to have a good trip probably. If you are in fear and negativity, well, then you'll have a bad trip. Well, that's kind of how I think this experience is going to go down. And those that have been awakened early are here to help these people that might be having bad trips. And the more I observe, the more I'm aware that there's so many people that are not ready for this. And it's really been eating at me the last week. And it also sucks because I make these videos and I share on Facebook, and I don't hide behind a fake name. I'm putting my ass on the line, and people will think I'm crazy. People can think what they want to think. All I know is what I've experienced, what thousands of other people in these communities are experiencing. Something is really going on. I'm not an idiot. Before my experience, I always was a logical, realistic, like, I mean, I had an open mind and I lived by the golden rule, but I don't know, guys. I feel like we keep sharing the same shit in the same communities. People that are most attracted to our information in our videos are people that are already aware. And those aren't the people we want to reach. The people we need to reach are the people that have their heads up their ass or buried in the sand and are completely unaware of what's coming. So that's why I'm constantly like preaching, putting shit out there on Facebook every day. I've shared the link to my channel. I'm not caring about subscribers. I don't care about making money. I don't care about popularity. That's not what this is about. This is about saving fucking humanity for real. The end of times has been prophesied and predicted in so many texts, not just the Bible. There's ancient ones too. This is it. Take a look around. Like, it's, you know, the Emmys are fun. I get it. Like, this is new. It's strange. It's cool. It's the synchronicities. It's awesome. And it's cool to share. You know, it is nice to share our experiences with others in the community, but we really need to be reaching out to these people that are so far gone. They're not going to stand a chance if they don't have help from us. Now is the time we need to be prepping. We need to be helping now, like in advance, not like after the shit's already hit the fan, because when this comes in, when everybody starts experiencing this Kundalini, it's now. It's where it's going to depend on where their heads and hearts are at that time. And if we don't prepare them for this, they're going to have an experience like my mom. And she did tell me that she felt or was told that she has to stay here. She has to stay in 3D, and but she still does. She doesn't understand what she went through. I know what she went through. I know it feels like you're talking to a brick wall. We need to find different approaches. We need to try to get in there somehow. We need to make sure we're being approachable. Make sure we're taking this seriously. Like, so during my experience, I was told that the mega volcano at Yellowstone was going to erupt. And as I stated in previous videos, I'm getting pretty nervous because all these volcanoes and earthquakes, and it looks like Yellowstone's right around the corner, which is my indicator that that's when shit's going to be hitting the fan. That's when shit's going to get real. And it's going to be a beautiful and glorious experience for some, and it's going to be a horrific, ugly experience for others. And I'm thinking about them. I think too many people are under the impression that, oh, as long as I go to church and believe in Jesus, I'm saved. He died for our sins, so I'm good. No. No. You have to live the way. You have to practice. You have to live like Jesus and treat other people like Jesus did. And then you'll experience Kundalini like Jesus did. Because I've been doing a lot of research, and there's people that are like, Kundalini satanic, or Jesus is the only way, as though there's some debate or there's a separation there. Kundalini is what Jesus experienced. It's what all of the holy figures have experienced. It's what all the ascended masters must experience in order to sit with God in heaven. 5D reality, whatever you want to call it, inner earth, I don't care. It's all the same fucking thing. People are so hell-bent on division and separation and judging others instead of doing the real research and figuring out that it's all related. It's all connected. One and the same. But labels suck. But until you Christians live and practice the way of Jesus and experience Kundalini, you're not going to where you think you're going to. You'll continue to reincarnate in the shitty 3D reality where war and domination and fear and aggression take precedence. You have to be pure of heart, and that doesn't mean rainbows and butterflies and talking gently and treating it, never any anger, hostility, or you need to balance the positive, negative within yourself. Both are required, but you don't want to tilt her too far into one or the other because it's going to cause problems for you. Whether you're too nice or too bitchy, neither one is good. You need to find a common ground within. Practice that. And then you experience Kundalini and Jesus comes to you. Like, the more videos I watch, the more research I do, the more I'm just convinced that so many people have it wrong. So many people have been suckered into believing bullshit. And I'm not a saint. I was never particularly religious. I experienced what I experienced by honoring my heart, being truthful, believing in myself, just being who I am. People are putting, it's not as hard as people think. And there's enough red tape and shit to get around without people just making assumptions or I don't know. I just can't wait till all the people on on their high horses in religion or whatever experience this. Like, this Kundalini itself is the payoff. Like, that is what reveals who's good and who's evil, per se. You're either Christed or you're an antichrist type being. Antichrist type being lives in fear and negativity and judgment and aggression and control. Christed beings live from the heart and expression and love and wisdom and acceptance. It's just that fucking easy. But I'm at the point now where, I'm ready to make an impact. Like, I don't know. We need to quit limiting our experiences and revelations to just our own people, our own groups. We are here so we can start spreading this to those that are not in the know, those who are lost. And together, we can help them find their way home before it's too late.